Hello and welcome to Books of Blood, and my name is John, and today I have got a review of Shade by Chad Nicholas. Now this is an advanced review copy. Chad was nice enough to send this to me in exchange for an honest review. So one more thing before I begin the review, and that is to tell you that Chad says that if you order the book now before the release date of October 5th, I think the release date is October 5th. Anyway, it's 25% off for the ebook, and the paperback and hardcovers are 15% off. So that's a really good deal, all right? So that being said, let's get on with the review of Shade, all right? So I'm going to cut through all the bullshit right now and just get down to it. I love this book. This book is freaking awesome, okay? So now that I've told you that I love this book and this book is awesome, I will tell you a little about the book and tell you why I loved it so much, okay? All right, here we go. So the story is told in two timelines. You got your past and you got your modern day. We're going to talk about the modern day for right now, all right? In the modern day, we have an FBI agent who has been given the task of protecting this woman who is being targeted by a serial killer. Now let's tell you a little bit about the woman. The woman is a former military vet. She was a medic. And right before they knock on her door to let her know, hey, we need to protect you, you're being targeted, she was getting ready to commit suicide. All right, so we'll leave it at that. The only other thing I'll say about this is that, actually when I said they, I should have said he. The FBI agent that shows up at her door, she is, all right. Anyway, the thing about it is, though, is that the serial killer that is targeting her is the FBI agent's former partner. All right? So all I'm going to say about that. So that is the present time. Now let's move over into the past. In the past, these two FBI agents, the one that we were talking about just a minute ago and the one that becomes a serial killer, are on the trail of a serial killer themselves. And this serial killer, what he's doing is he is killing young girls. I believe he starts with the age of 21. 21, 19, I think 21. I may be wrong about that. It may be 18. But he is killing these girls in descending order. So he kills one that's 21, one that's 20, one that's 19. And the way this guy kills them, he takes their hearts out with very surgical precision. All right? So again, these two FBI agents in the past are also given the task of protecting this 13-year-old girl. 13 and a half, she will tell you. All right? So when something goes horribly wrong, that causes one of these FBI agents to absolutely snap. And he becomes what they're hunting. And that takes us into the modern day. And it takes us into them, the other FBI agent trying to protect this woman from this former agent turned serial killer. All right, that is pretty much the gist of Shade. All right, so now I'm going to tell you why I love this book. I love this book because not only, and I've said this in my Goodreads review if you've read that, but not only does this book work as a detective slash serial killer novel, it works also as a psychological horror novel, and I compare it to movies like Seven, and I also compare it to Michael Slade's very first book, Headhunter, which to me are fine examples of psychological horror, both the book and the movie that I'm talking about. All right, the other thing I want to talk about this book is the fact that you got two people in this book that are broken. They are broken. They're former military veterans. They are broken by PTSD, and mainly they are broken by guilt because they could not save the people that were either in their command, they were under their command, or they could not save their best friend from dying. And this guilt has weighed on them and weighed on them. One of them, both of them suffer hallucinations about being visited by the dead that they think they let die. And the dead are just like, why did you do this? Why did you let us die? And just accusing them. And it just really breaks into their psyche, into their psychological. It's just like a complete breakdown for these two characters. Now, also, I will say this much: this book is not without some fantastic action scenes, usually involving the cop turn, or the FBI agent turned serial killer. And if you notice, I'm not saying any names. I don't want to say any names because I don't want to give anything away, all right? I want you to read this book, all right? But there is one scene where this agent turned serial killer basically takes on 25 inmates down the corridors of the prison. He just takes them all out with just different maneuvers. And this reminded me so much of the scene in Old Boy. If you've never seen Old Boy, check out Old Boy and see the original, okay? All right? Anyway, there's a scene in Old Boy where the main character goes through this hallway of these bad guys and just takes them out with a claw hammer. It's bloody and just fun to watch. Also reminding me of the Netflix series Daredevil, which I think got its inspiration from Old Boy. And I also wrote the author and told him this, and he also got inspiration for this scene from the Arkham Asylum video game. You know, where you have Batman fighting the bad guys, and you push one button, he kicks this guy, and then all this. And I could see that too, man. So there's just so much action. And the thing about it is, that particular scene, and the entire book in general, is just so superbly written that you can just see every punch, every broken neck, head slammed in the wall, whatever, you can freaking see it, all right? It's just in your mind. And I think that's the sign of an excellent writer. If I can be reading something, and no matter how subtle it is about how they write it, or no matter how just out there wide open, if I can see it in my mind, I personally think that's the sign of a good writer. All right, so now you're asking, what rating do I give this? Since I've told you flat out I love this, I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I usually don't do. It's not quite a 5-star book. All right, I'm going to say that. There was just a few little minor things in it that I just didn't quite agree with. I'm not going to go into detail about them. But there's just a few little minor things that I didn't particularly like about it. But other than that, this is just an absolutely fantastic novel. This is Chad Nicholas's second novel. And like I said, I highly recommend it, all right? Do yourself a favor and read this book, all right? This is called Shade. This is my review, 4.5 stars out of 5. Thank you very much, thank you very much for watching, and take care and stay scared. All right, bye-bye.